Good morning, and welcome to the Monday Morning Wrap here on Sports Tree Ltd. I'm Connor Roundtree, and folks, the Monday Morning Wrap is our Monday sportscast. It wraps up all the biggest events from the prior weekend and gives you your menu of sporting events for the week to come. We're going to jump right into this show with our weekend wrap-up. Our weekend wrap-up, well, it's exactly what it sounds like. We wrap up the biggest sporting events from the prior weekend, and everything this weekend started and stopped with the NFL. And wildcard weekend is set. Week 17 was awesome. It gave us a bunch of great matchups, but the most important thing is the final seeding. And the Green Bay Packers, they secured the top seed in the NFC. Well, the AFC, that goes to the Kansas City Chiefs. Another team that squeaked into the playoffs yesterday is the Chicago Bears. Despite losing to the Green Bay Packers, the Bears made it into the playoffs because of an Arizona loss. Arizona couldn't take care of business against the Rams, so the Rams will take on Seattle Saturday at 4:40, and the Bears will take on the Saints in New Orleans at 4:40 on Sunday. As for the other NFC wildcard matchup, it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers visiting the Washington football team on Saturday at 8:15 p.m. That leads us into our bump and stump of the weekend. What is our bump? It's a fist bump, a prop, a salute of service, if you will, to an individual or an athletic organization or a story within the athletic community that needs to be recognized. And what is a stump? Well, it's a waste of space. Something that you wish you could replace. Only good for stubbing your toe on, and that's what brings this up, because Doug Peterson is our stump of the week. Peterson isn't our stump just because he benched Jalen Hurts for Nate Sudfeld. He's our stump because he doesn't even know why. He explained his reasoning. Yes, he was trying to coach and win a football game, and then later in that same press conference, he also said his decision was solely based on the fact that Nate had been there for 4 years and deserved a chance. Well, what were you trying to do? Win a football game or give a quarterback a chance? Because I'll tell you one thing, all of New York hates you right now, and you are our stump of the week. Our bump of the week, well, that's got to go to Jonathan Taylor. He put the boys on his back in Indianapolis, getting them up into the playoffs. He put up 253 rushing yards and a pair of touchdowns on 30 rushing attempts and absolutely obliterated the Jacksonville Jaguars and got the Indianapolis Colts into the playoffs. And that leads us to our AFC wildcard. As you can see there, the Indianapolis Colts still take on the Buffalo Bills Sunday at 1 o'clock in Buffalo, and I don't want to play the Buffalo Bills right now. They are my team to watch out for there. Cleveland Browns, they take on the Pittsburgh Steelers as they were able to beat the Steelers this week to get into the playoffs, and the Baltimore Ravens are taking on the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee, which is a rematch of a playoff game from last year. We'll be breaking down all those matchups for you on the Bear Down Breakdown on Wednesday, which is our NFL Sportscast here on Sports Tree Ltd. We're going to keep this inaugural episode of Monday Morning Wrap rolling by serving up our weekly menu of sporting events. Our weekly menu of sporting events gives you the three biggest sporting events to look out for of the coming week: an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert. And our appetizer this week is for our NHL fantasy GMs out there. The NHL starts next week. That means you got to set your lineups and draft your team. So we're going to give you our top 10 best players to look out for the coming fantasy season. And coming in at number 10 is Steven Stamkos. Last time he played a full season, he put up 98 points, potting 45 goals. That was in 2018 and 2019, and he had that courageous comeback in the Stanley Cup final where he scored a goal. I think he'll be motivated this season to lead the Tampa Bay Lightning, and we're putting him at number 10 because I'm not sure if he'll be a top 10 player, but we did have to give a shout out to Steven Stamkos. Next up is Brad Marchand. Now this guy can do it all from a fantasy standpoint. He'll get hits, he'll get penalty minutes, he'll get shots, power play points, and a whole lot of points. He had 28 goals last year and 59 assists. With David Pastrnak banged up to start the season, he'll be the A1 option in Boston. Next up is Jack Eichel, the captain for the Sabres. I think he'll have a great season with Taylor Hall on his wing. He posted 36 goals and 42 assists last year with 27 power play points and 227 shots on goal. So look for him to be in the top 10 in scoring. Number 7 is Roman Josi. I genuinely believe in the value that fantasy defensemen present, especially one that puts up 16 goals and 49 assists. And he's a staple point for anyone's blue line with shot blocking ability, goal scoring ability, and power play minutes. So make sure you have Roman Josi up there as the top defenseman. Not many defensemen are going to score 16 goals and 49 assists, not to mention 23 power play points. That's what Roman Josi did last season. So I think he's an A1 defenseman, and you got to take a chance on him. Coming in at number 6 is Artemi Panarin. The Breadmen racked up 32 goals and 63 assists last season. Mika Zibanejad had a great year as well. If those guys stay healthy and stay playing together, they could be a dynamic duo moving forward. Coming in at number 5 is Alexander Ovechkin. Yes, he's getting older, but you can't overlook the Russians' tenacity and power. 48 goals last season, 311 shots and power play points. He got 18 of them, and you know he's going to be shooting on the power play. So that's a lot of fantasy points and a lot of value right there. So make sure you get Ovi in the lineup if you have the option. Coming in at number 4 is Austin Matthews. Matthews' 47 goals last year were only second to Alexander Ovechkin in the league, and he had 33 assists where Ovechkin only had 19. His value is tremendous, and I think Toronto is going to lean more and more on him as time progresses. Moving into number 3 is Leon Draisaitl. The reigning Hart champion scored 43 goals and 67 assists last year for the only 110-point season in the NHL. Number 2 is Nathan MacKinnon. MacKinnon had 35 goals, and he's only been improving in the NHL. And number 1 is Connor McDavid. He and Draisaitl play a lot together, as goes one, as goes the other, and I like them to have a huge year in the All-Canadian division. Our sporting menu entree of the week is NBA basketball. There are some great matchups all week long, but we're going to zero in and focus on tonight, and that leads us into our MKF play of the day. For our MKF play of the day, we're going to play a little scoring champ contest on Monkey Knife Fight. All you have to do is select 3 guys, and tonight we need to exceed the line of 88.5 points. So guy number 1 is Trae Young. Trae Young is averaging just over 28 points this season, and with the Hawks defense struggling, he's going to need to keep shooting for Atlanta to keep pace. Our second pick is the Greek Freak. He's taking on a Pistons team that's allowing over 115 points per game, and our final pick is Steph Curry. He dropped 62 points last night, and they're taking on a Sacramento team that's allowing the 10th most points per game against in the association. And our dessert for the week is the World Junior Hockey Championship. We have the semifinals today and the finals run tomorrow. Now, we talked to Alex Newhook before this camp, and he told us about the depth on Team Canada. That's why I like them to defeat the Russians in the semifinals and advance to the finals tomorrow, where they'll take on the Americans, because I think the Americans will have enough juice to get by the Finns. Canada scored 33 goals for in the round robin, which is absolutely absurd, while allowing only 4 goals. There's just too much depth and talent on this Canadian team, so I like them to take home the gold medal. Speaking of the World Juniors, that's what we're going to use for our trivia question. Our first trivia question for Monday Morning Wrap. Who has scored the most points in the history of the World Junior Hockey Championship? It's easy to sign up, and once you're in, just follow these quick steps to submit your answer. And if you don't know hockey so well, have no fear, because I actually just typed the answer on the screen. You can go back and pause that, look at the answer, and that is a little gift from us here at Sports Street. Our Monday Morning Wrap trivia is an opportunity for you to win a pair of tickets in our grand prize to go see your favorite NHL team play. So make sure that you always tune in and subscribe, because remember, it's only for our subscribers, and subscriptions are free, but you can upgrade at any time and up your chances at winning all of our trivias and our bracket challenges. Our first bracket challenge will be coming with the NFL playoffs next week. Our last item on the menu for this episode of Monday Morning Wrap is our fantasy up and down. Now, the NHL season hasn't started yet, but we did give you our top 10 fantasy players to look out for. The NBA season, however, is in full swing, and the first player that we're going to add is Cameron Johnson. Cameron Johnson is killing it to start the season. The second-year player is averaging over 12.5 points per game and is either red hot right now or is starting to adjust to a bigger role in the lineup. He's averaging over 20 minutes a night, so if you have some space on your roster, don't be afraid to take a shot on him. And our first fantasy up and down is actually a straight up drop on Hassan Whiteside. Whiteside had just 3 minutes of playing time on Thursday and 0 minutes on Saturday. He's hit just 2 free throws all season, so if you're one of those 70-odd% of GMs hanging on to him, it's time to take out the scissors. Folks, that concludes our inaugural episode of Monday Morning Wrap here on Sports Tree Ltd. Thank you so much for joining us, and cheers. That's a wrap.